Crap, that's gotta be it. Anyone coming through that door? Go, get up there. They go, crap. Son of a bitch, we need to take the ground. Get down there. Hey, I heard you. Wait, what do you mean everything? Send the couple guys. Fuck. Wait, you see that? Get ready. The currency went down. Looks like you're dead.
Hello and welcome to the Cantina Channel. Synopsy here. I'd like to try and keep this short and to the point as usual, so let's go ahead and jump right into Mute's loadout. The first weapon available in Mute's arsenal is going to be the MP5K submachine gun, not to be confused with the MP5. The MP5K is possibly one of the best submachine guns available due to its high damage, high fire rate, great mobility, a high capacity magazine, and a low recoil when coupled with appropriate attachments. Let's take a look at available sights. We have the red dot sight, the holographic, and the reflex. Let's talk a little bit about the red dot sight. It's not my preferred sight as it has a small inaccuracy where the bullets actually go up a little bit and to the right of the actual dot, and the size is a little bit too large. Here's a few clips I have of me playing with the red dot sight. Now, as you can see here, I have a little bit of a difficulty seeing their head at a distance due to the sheer size of the dot in the scope. Here I tossed a little C4 because I figured they'd be running up the stairs. Unfortunately not. Here's a good example of the headshot missing. On the beginning of that spray, my dot was directly on his head, but the bullets were actually going a little bit up to the right. Right here is a really good display of the same thing. I had to adjust my red dot sight all the way to a little bit up into the right of his skull.
That's fucking dumb.
That was a decent shot, but I was actually a little off. This example shows how low the recoil can be even without a laser sight. Next sight we have available is the holographic sight. One of my favorite sights to use whenever the ACOG is not available due to the smaller dot size. It also doesn't have any kind of inaccuracies, so it makes for a much better sight overall. Here's a few clips of me playing with the holographic sight instead. Now this right here is why I prefer the holographic. All the way from across this hallway, I can see in the elevator there's a shield, and I'm trying to headshot him here. I have to transfer to the other target, but it's fine because I can see the heads perfectly. By the way, there's a guy in this corner. I go ahead and make sure that I reload and everything before I peek back out. Once I go and peek back out, I look for the same target. I'm aiming at the head of the shield even though it's not down. The moment he lowers his shield, he's instantly headshotted. At this point, I'm trying to flank from outside his mute. I'm utilizing his speed as a medium armor. I instantaneously headshot one person and take care of the downed enemy as my teammate told me. I can hear another person that shot at me from the top floor before I dropped. I can hear him running around. That's why I look at this point. I'm going to go ahead and prone over here just to make sure I can't get shot from the back. I hear the glass break and instantly headshot him as he breaks the window. It's stuff like this that makes the holographic sight better than the red dot sight due to the visibility it can grant you. Thanks to the fact that the dot has more visibility inside than actually just covering the entire scope.
Good job.
The last sight that we have available is the reflex sight. I'm not even going to show any clips of using the reflex due to the fact that a reflex sight is not a good sight at all for any kind of long-range weapon. You want to use it on shotguns primarily or close quarters combat weapons if you're always on sight. Moving along, we've got the different types of barrels. We have the suppressor. I don't recommend using it. It lowers the damage a little bit too much, making it a mediocre weapon overall. The flash hider is perfectly acceptable as it produces the same amount of reduced recoil as a compensator can. So flash hider, compensator, that is 100% up to the player. After the barrels, we have the only other available attachment for the MP5K, and that's the laser dot sight. I don't use the laser sight at all, and I just think laser sights aren't that great because they give away your position a whole lot more than they help, as enemies actually can see your red dot laser. Next we have the M590A1 shotgun. I'm not going to show any gameplay of the shotgun. It's not a weapon I use very often. Shotguns aren't all that my thing. The reflex sight should be used with it though if you're going to be hitting on sight a lot. It's not a weapon you want to use for lurking as I usually do with Mute. You should definitely get the laser just because it increases the hip fire accuracy of a shotgun, so definitely grab that. I use the Ralphie skin because the Ralphie skin's awesome. Continuing on, we've got the P226 MK And don't put a suppressor on this. It's the only pistol available for mute. You do not want to reduce the damage. I do not put a laser sight on it, as it can cause the enemy to be aware of your position. It's something I don't enjoy using. The last thing that we've got, and it's important to note, is mute is the only operator with the decision to choose a deployable shield or a nitrocell. So you can play mute in two different styles, as a lurk that can kill a shield easily with a nitrocell, or a camper that can set up a nice deployable shield in a good spot and defend sight. It's a fantastic operator with a great loadout option. As stated before, we're going to go ahead and take a look. Mute is a medium armor and a medium speed. So he can be used as a great lurk, or he can be used as an on-site defender. Mute has the ability to place down jammers, which jam any electronic device that is tried to place on something that it's muting, or any electronic device that comes near it. This includes a lot of different things. One is thermite charges. Thermite cannot detonate a breach charge that is placed on a reinforced wall as long as there is a jammer on the other side of it. It is important to note that I have placed a jammer on the dead center of each of these walls, preventing him from placing it anywhere on the wall. There's a lot of misconception that a jammer can protect two separate reinforced walls. I'm going to solve this issue and show you guys that you have to place the jammers in the center, not in between. Because if you do not place them in the center, thermite can simply take the breach charge and place it on the sideline of the wall and still detonate it. Let's have a look at that happening in action. Try to detonate it. I'll put one here. Now detonate it. Here is a great tactic to use with teammates. Castle's barricades are best used on windows to deny entry into sight and prevent getting picked off through the windows. Mute can prevent entry further by making it so that a breach charge cannot be detonated when placed on the barrier. Of course, entry can still be possible if the attackers utilize something like an ash grenade or have a sledge to smash the barricades down, as I show in this example of Ash shooting the castle, because unfortunately, Mute does not affect Ash's grenades. Another important thing to note is that Thatcher has a lot of trouble throwing his EMP grenades at windows and upper level areas, so it's always a great idea to use the windows as a way to deny Thatcher from EMPing. One last thing for Mute is Mute has the ability to disable drones. So in the beginning of a round, you want to try to place your mutes at popular drone entry points to get as many of them as you can. Because a drone that snuck in without anyone noticing can be a game changer, because it can cause people to be able to wallbang you through walls, stuff like that, when you're playing against good teams. This concludes the Mute tutorial video presented by the Cantina community. I would like all of you to tell me any criticism you have for the videos, what I can do to make them better, etc. I'm trying to learn as much as I can, and I'm trying to make a great presentation for the people that watch these videos. So please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Link these videos to your friends, stuff like that, so that I can get more feedback on these videos and hopefully make a whole lot more, ranging anywhere from operator videos to all the way to different types of strategies that me and our teams do, and map tutorials, things like that. So thank you very much. Synopsy out.
What do you mean everything's at the guys?